Something much bigger than rising fuel prices is happening right now. Fuel shortages aren't just making petrol more expensive. They're quietly reshaping the entire global economy. And most people don't realize how far this goes. A large portion of the world's oil passes through a single narrow route, the Strait of Hormuz. At times, it carries around 20% of global oil supply. When that flow is disrupted, the entire system feels it almost instantly. Prices rise, supply tightens, and uncertainty spreads across markets. We're already seeing the first wave. Fuel prices rising globally, transport costs increasing, businesses cutting margins, and households paying more for basic goods. Fuel shortages don't just affect drivers, they affect everything that moves. And in a global economy, that means almost everything. Fuel is deeply connected to food and production. Fertilizers rely on natural gas, transport relies on diesel, shipping relies on oil. When fuel becomes scarce, food prices rise. Supply chains slow down, and shortages begin to appear in unexpected places. Higher energy costs act like a hidden tax. Every product becomes more expensive to produce and deliver, which pushes inflation higher, and inflation disproportionately impacts the middle class. We're already seeing rising cost of living, falling consumer confidence, and increased financial pressure on households. But the real impact is long-term. Energy shocks like this can slow global economic growth, increase interest rates, trigger recessions, and shift investment toward energy independence. Some forecasts suggest prolonged disruption could even push oil toward extreme price levels and trigger recession scenarios. This isn't just a temporary crisis. It reveals something deeper. The global economy depends heavily on fragile systems. Single points of failure, key supply routes, and energy flows that can be disrupted quickly. Fuel shortages don't just raise prices, they expose how interconnected and fragile the global economy really is. Because when energy is disrupted, everything else follows.